ladies first, I guess?
Ladies first, even though you're the front man. So I'm Red.
I'm being humble.
He's being humble. I'm Red/Bread because everyone calls me Bread, and
I am Francis or Frankie.
And we're part of a currently 3-piece band.
Yes. And this is the Reject City podcast.
Yep, Reject City, that's what we're going for.
That's
High
what
five.
we're going for. Yeah. Right. So, again, like, I don't know if we're going to do the Joe Rogan thing where just the early episodes get buried because you can't find those no matter how hard you try. Believe me, I've tried.
But this is episode 0.
This is episode 0. This is the tutorial before the main game.
And we're drinking blue.
We are drinking blue.
We do have a third member. They're not with us today.
Yes, Baffy is MIA.
And we've got Bread to replace them for now. But we thought we would just talk a bit about ourselves, let you know who we are, do what we're gonna do, and yeah, so...
Major vibage.
We were going to start with New Year's.
Oh, fucking hell, New Year's.
We're both still slightly recovering. Our cameraman wasn't
I think
there,
I've recovered better than you have, to be fair.
You've recovered better than I have. There was a lot of drinking.
Yes.
A lot of drinking. I may have opened my third eye. I reached full autism.
And when you said that, I just exited
the
room. Because...
I had what can only be described as the biggest panic attack known to man. And midway through, I said I reached full autism. And this guy started laughing.
In fact, I had a laughing fit, and then I just had... I'm pretty sure Callum just sat me down.
Yeah, Callum, my boyfriend, sat you down and then had to remove you from the room because I started freaking out.
No, I'm pretty sure Callum... I started laughing and I'm pretty sure Callum just came over to me and sat me down on the couch and I was sitting down for what must have been like half an hour just pissing myself.
I could hear him. So like everything people were saying, like calm down, you're fine. Everything that's going on is real, you're fine, you're okay. Everything with that happened with a laugh track supplied by yours truly.
You're welcome, honey.
Yeah. And surprisingly, the blue vodka that I brought has survived. And
yeah, I didn't drink any of this on New Year's. Like, I don't remember everything. I remember laughing very hardly. I remember having long-ass conversations with Matt. What's up, Matt?
If he's watching.
Good guy, Matt. I remember eating almost all of the lasagna.
There was like 5 pans of lasagna.
And
I had about a quarter of one. And this guy had 3 of them.
Yes.
You literally have 3 lasagnas plus about half an apple crumble.
2 portions of apple crumble.
He had a whole apple crumble.
No.
I had custard and Stella.
Yes, because you is peak British.
I am peak British.
You is peak British. And the only reason I didn't have 2 full pans of lasagna is because Matt said you're saving me some.
Yeah, we will have Matt on at some point because Matt is amazing. We basically are only having a podcast because I said I wanted one. And this guy was like, full front man, like, yeah, let's do it. So now we've got a podcast and today's sort of episode is just us talking to a camera with the great cameraman we've got. I love you.
Yes. Hello, Lewis Capaldi. Not the actual Lewis Capaldi, it's just a nickname, but like... Also, if the actual Lewis Capaldi is watching this, where's album number 2?
Yeah.
Like, I know you're riding the someone to love train until you fucking fall, until the fucking wheels fall off, but come on, cuz, it's been a while.
Also, please don't do it Ed Sheeran. Don't do an Ed Sheeran.
What do you mean by doing Ed Sheeran?
Randomly go, like, metal out of nowhere.
Oh, what? Oh, right, when he performed with Bring Me the Horizon at the Brits.
Like, you go from, like...
That was actually quite good, though. Yeah,
but you have original Ed Sheeran, the random Irish shit.
Oh, yeah, go away, gal.
Everyone has random Irish shit. I'm sorry. There's always random Irish shit. Like, everyone's always done random Irish shit. Then, you suddenly go into random metal. And I don't...
Can you really call Bring Me metal anymore, though?
We should explain our band is, as of yet, unclassified within labels. It's just rock.
We are just a rock and roll band.
With a lead singer who can sing, a lead guitarist that can play, and me, the bassist, who doesn't know shit.
But you're better than Sid Vicious.
I'm not dead.
Yes, you've outlived Sid Vicious by a whole year, and you're not a simp.
I don't have a Nancy yet.
Isn't Callum your Nancy?
Well, you got Callum coming, so.
Well, that is yet to be determined.
But this year's new for all of us, because you've actually got bandmates for once.
Yes. And well, that's a whole... Okay, we are going to go on a fucking tangent now. I have gone through bandmates like I've gone through guys, and full disclaimer, I am a massive whore. And if any of the guys I have slept with end up watching this, hello, remember me.
It's like,
hello, remember me. I'm that regret you had at the bar on a Saturday. Well,
not to mention, we literally went out for a bottomless brunch for my birthday, which was a disaster in its own. One of our friends had a seizure.
Yeah.
Another one nearly got lost.
You're gonna bring up the fact you're gonna bring up Primark guy, aren't you?
Primark guy. So we're just walking around a Primark, and this is before we go and start drinking. I've already had, I think, a drink somewhere. I don't know where I had it, but I had a drink. And we're walking around a Primark, and we're looking at like shiny little bags, and I find
we're all being super queer and super girly.
Yeah, I find those Naked Wolf rip-off Primark boots are worth like 20 quid, so they're like cheap as fuck. And I'm walking around, and I find this guy just looking at a shirt, and then he looks off and then starts backing away. And our mate Louis, who is the definition of gay, the definition of gay, like great skin, pink everywhere, fluff, shine, glitter,
the absolute works.
Comes over and he's backing away, and we're like, what are you doing? He's like, you see that guy? Yeah, the guy with the ponytail. Yeah? Who is he? I've slept with him. You sure? And we spent the whole fucking day teasing about this guy about him.
I mean, it's fine, like...
The only problem is we go back on, like, the guy's clearly still on shift, because we go back and get my boots, because I really want them.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's, like, slightly ignoring him, which is fine. Like, you think, chaotic, that's fine.
We went round him at one point.
But we get back on the train, and one of our friends starts having a seizure. And
Hi, Miles.
Hi Miles. We define this as Bournemouth drunk, because she's done this twice now. She starts having, like, a seizure. It's an absent seizure, so it looks like she's just drunk. She's throwing up, she's cold, she's shivering, she's everything. I want to point out this is my birthday. So we're trying to keep her calm, because we've got to get to the station. I've got to cut that out. We've got to get to the station. But we've also... turn around and our mate Louis is absolutely fucked too.
Yeah, and I got put in charge of looking after Louis, and I was like, I wasn't fully... Well, I wasn't. I was the high end of tipsy. I wasn't drunk, but I was the high end of tipsy.
So, we finally get off the train. We get out the station, and it turns out, obviously, because she's having a seizure, she really needs to, like, go back and throw up and go to the toilet and all that. So we drag her out of the station, drag her back into the station, drag her back out again. Hospital is called. All this happens. That's what we call Bournemouth drunk. And the reason we called it Bournemouth drunk is because the same thing happened when we went to Bournemouth once, where we went out, I think it was late September, I think it was early September. We go to Bournemouth on a coach trip, and my mate Molly has a full bottle of vodka. She's sipping it throughout the day. She's completely fine. She goes in and out of the seawater completely fine. We go to the toilet at the end of the day because we're walking back to the coach. We might as well go now. Because, like, you go when you can.
You gotta go.
She gets into the coach, and literally a minute after the coach starts driving, she's throwing up. We grab a bag off of the lady who organised the trip, and she's throwing up into the bag over and over again. The problem is, Bath, our co-host that isn't here, who is her roommate, has a thing that's obviously linked to autism. That is, she can't deal with, like, wet towelettes, which are the one thing you need when someone's throwing up repeatedly. So I'm there wiping the sick off this one girl and all of this, and we're told we're going to stop at a service station. We don't. So we go the whole 3-hour trip without stopping, with this girl throwing up literally every 20 minutes. And we're having to stop her from sticking her fingers down her throat. And that's where Bournemouth drunk comes from. And on New Year's, I became Bournemouth drunk. I was throwing up. I was freaking out. I didn't really know where I was. And I thought the whole thing went on for 3-4 hours. It turns out it was an hour and a half.
At most.
At most. And then I chilled out. But I still decided, because I was like, if I go to sleep now, I'm going to freak out. So I didn't go to sleep.
I did, apparently.
And he did. But the problem is, he went to sleep with his legs on top of me. And he's quite big compared to me.
Yeah, I'm 6'2".
And I'm 5'7".
5'7", 5'8".
5'8". So getting his legs off of me was a 2-people job. I had to get my 6'4" boyfriend to do it. And I was doing this weird contortion to get under his legs. And yeah, that was Bournemouth drunk for me. But I recovered within an hour.
I mean, the thing is, I wanted to go upstairs, but I physically couldn't move.
There was a bedroom upstairs. I really should have gone.
No,
up
I
there.
was lying down on that sofa that Santa's sofa. Santa's sofa. I was lying down on Santa's sofa, and I was thinking to myself, "There's a nice cozy bed upstairs. Let's go in the nice cozy bed." My entire body, nope, not happening.
I knew he wasn't going to move the moment he undid his belt. That should have been a warning sign.
Just, there's a nice cozy bed upstairs. Let's go and sleep in the nice cozy bed. My entire body, no, not happening. And then my body and my brain just had an argument. Just go upstairs, no. Go upstairs, no. Go upstairs, no.
But you went to bed. You said you went to bed 12. You went home, got a cottage chicken, and then went to bed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because Moles and Baffy wanted me to come with them to Spoons, but my bread. This is bread. My bus was literally right there, and Spoons felt like miles away.
So he got a cottage chicken and went to
I got on the bus, fell asleep on the bus, got off the bus, went into Chicken Cottage, ordered a burger, and the burger legitimately tasted like the best thing in the world.
Yeah, because you're drunk and sleep deprived. Because chicken burgers aren't great. There's an argument there, but chicken burgers are so. But you did go to sleep. I went to sleep on the 1st at 10 o'clock at night.
No, when I got back to mine, it was 12:30, and I was done.
12:30 in the afternoon. I went to bed at 10:30 at night, and then the next.
No, I slept from 12:30 to 11:30, 12ish that afternoon.
But
so by the time you had gone to bed, I'd just woken up.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed till 10 o'clock at night. And then the next day, I watched the new Pinocchio. I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that directed Hellboy. So basically, it was in the cartoon style of the I think it's the Golden Circle Hellboy, which is the second one. They do a little cartoon bit, which is in this not claymation, but kind of claymation style.
Right.
So it's CGI created claymation, but it's not moving the clay. And I watched that the day after, and honestly, I shouldn't have. I was still questioning reality at that point, and oh my god.
Yeah, I've got that message somewhere where it's just I'm watching Pinocchio and questioning reality.
I had a bit of a breakdown. I think my dad had a breakdown because he was like, "Wait, what is this happening in World War II? They just made Pinocchio. World War II. For some unknown reason, it's World War II.
I swear that's an Assassin's Creed that's set in World War II.
Is there?
Oh wait, no. It's like an no. It's one of the ones I haven't played because Unity and I might get a lot of hate for this, but Unity was fucking shit. And that, well, actually, no. Am I thinking of Unity or am I thinking of Syndicate? I think I'm thinking of Unity.
I'm just going to take a time out here. I don't play.
But there's one of the Assassin's Creed where there's like a game that was like a game within a game, and I think it's Unity, and like.
Isn't that the modern one?
Oh no, the modern one. Like, I'm going to be a real purist here and say there hasn't been an Assassin's Creed game since Syndicate.
See, I haven't Assassin's Creed. I watch playthroughs rather than actually play the games. So
actually play the Grahams.
The Grahams. Graham crackers.
Graham crackers.
Graham crackers. We're British, by the way, if you haven't told. If you can't tell by the fact we're drunk and we're saying bloody hell a lot and we're saying...
Yeah, hello to all the Americans who may end up watching this. Your country is a joke.
It is currently 2:30 in the afternoon and we've had three drinks.
Not counting New York, just secede already, mate. Just secede, become a city-state. Do what Singapore did. Trust me, you'll thank me later.
New York is a whole different subject.
So, secede, become a city-state. Trust me, you'll thank me later. The rest of you fuckers, dear God, you elected Trump. You elected Trump. And don't get me wrong. I fucked with Trump in the beginning because he was pissing people off. That's legitimately one of the only reasons I fucked with him, because he was pissing people off and I found it funny. But then he tried to overthrow the government.
Not to mention the whole, they're miscounting votes. Let's storm the Capitol because they're miscounting votes.
There may have been some dodgy shit going on.
There wasn't!
No. Let me finish. There may have been some dodgy shit going on with the Democrats and what have you. However, you don't go... If there is some dodgy shit going on, you find evidence. You don't go and storm the fucking Capitol.
Not to mention that he said the good boys are like an actual good ally when they're literal Nazis. No, they are literal Nazis. They do the proper Nazi salutes and the fucking like songs that.
Isn't the leader of the Proud Boys a Mexican though?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean shit. Like, have you seen like I think it's Louis Theroux did a documentary and they go into the KKK.
Oh, I fucking love Louis Theroux.
And there is black members of the KKK because they say that they don't hate black people, they just want a white nation. So you can say that you aren't racist, you don't mind black people, but you want a white nation. But the thing is, when you say you want a white nation, you're saying you want white people, not black people. So you are racist by default.
Well, to be fair, like, that's more or less what Malcolm X wanted. Malcolm X wanted to create a Pan-African nation.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean...
America, please get your shit together.
I mean, Britain's not much better at the moment.
Okay. To all the Americans who may end up watching this, I'm going to let you in a little secret. There is a secret rule in British politics, which is however bad things are going over here, as long as it's going worse over your side, we're fine.
Yeah, our left is basically...
You're right.
You're right.
You're right. No. Your left wing is our right wing.
Yeah, sorry. We are very left as a country. However, when it comes to left and right, the ones who are in left are the ones that couldn't make it in the right.
Yeah.
Most of the politicians are right. However, some of them weren't either rich enough or smart enough to get into the right, so they end up in the left. Dear
God, I hope we get PR. I hope we get PR.
You're left it. No, you're right.
I'm a libertarian.
You're libertarian. I'm a humanist. Baffy is communist.
Baffy's a left-wing libertarian.
Yeah, and I'm just a humanist.
You're a humanist. I'm a right-wing libertarian.
I just want people to live.
I'm a right-wing libertarian. Baffy's a left-wing libertarian.
We're such a weird combination of people that it's actually fun to have a conversation because no one disagrees.
I mean, me and Baffy agree on about half, like about 25% to half of all shit.
See, I'd be like a full communist, but also I like the benefits of money right now. But the thing is, if you were if like communism existed, you wouldn't enjoy the benefits of money because you could just have what you wanted anyway.
Yeah, but the thing with communism is like you can never fully.
That didn't work.
You can never fully properly implement it because well, every time it's been tried, you get to the stage of dictatorship of the proletariat, and then the people who are the dictators, so to speak, go, I have all the power and all the authority. I don't want to give this up.
But it's the moment like someone who was proletariat gets slightly higher up, they suddenly go like, oh, I'm in it for myself, so I might as well keep going.
Exactly.
But yeah.
You will always have an elite class. It's just a simple fact.
But like, talking about it, like, we might as well talk about jobs at the moment. So I'm currently working at a go-kart place. I won't mention the name of the place because I don't want people finding me. And that's understandable. But, oh my god, people do not know how to go to events. So like, I'm pretty sure you all know when you go paintballing, go-karting, laser tag, there are rules. Like, you shouldn't turn up drunk or high. Of course you've got Doritos, which aren't Doritos.
They're more or less Doritos.
All of that stuff. But the other day, so my very first shift, we're watching people go round. I've got a bit of mixed messages on if I should push carts out of barriers and things like that, but that's not the main issue here.
Bless you.
We're watching a family go round, and before we even start, we realise the family isn't fluent in English.
What were they fluent in?
I think it was Romanian. I'm not gonna say this, but yeah. But they didn't even understand like the universal signal of stop, like put your hand out and like don't move. So that was.
Go and ask the Romanians about communism.
So that was the first thing. Like, so we really failed doing the brake test. The brake test only worked because we were physically in front of them and they didn't want us to run them over. All that other stuff. So they're going around the track and it's fine for like 20 minutes. We have like 30 minutes, like 25-minute sessions, depending on which. And around about the like, I want to say the 14, 15-minute mark, my boss, who is supervising me, because it's my first day, I've not done the training that I'm supposed to do, but he's supervising me, goes, whoa, for a different reason to what the main reason is. And I'm following everyone. We suddenly get to the pit lane. So there's the pit lane here, and then the rest of the track. So either you go into the pit lane and you finish the event, or you keep going past the pit lane, like in a normal race. And we all stood a line between the first corner, so they can't do the lap. And we've realised that the dad of the family is filming. Now, we all know you shouldn't be using your phone whilst driving. I don't know if America's different, but I'm pretty sure it is.
It probably depends on the state.
Depends on the state, but in the UK, you cannot film and drive. So when it comes to go-karting places, they usually have the same rules. If you don't do it driving, you don't do it karting. Because they are petrol or gas vehicles that are going pretty fast, and if you're doing that kind of stuff, you are going to have an accident that is more than just hitting the barrier.
Though one day they will run on hydrogen.
Probably, yes. So we stopped them because the dad's filming. But he's not just filming, he's filming over his arm. So he's steering with one arm, but the arm he's filming with is the one on top, obviously to try and stabilise the shot. So we stop him, and I don't know why my boss did this, but my boss is like, if you do that again, you're off. Whereas everyone else is like, if you did that once, you're kicked off. That's the first incident we had. Now, on my second day, I'm about half an hour till the end of my shift. Like, I'm not getting involved in the next race or anything, because I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm not walking
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Well, I'm not walking into the pit crew. I'm not starting any of the vehicles. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to do the checks of the bathrooms and the suit rooms, because, like, that's my job. Like, I'm not going to start the races, because if I start them, I'm responsible for them. I'm going to do the other stuff because I can, and I should be doing so because I've got an hour left, but I shouldn't start the races because I'm not going to be there. So I'm walking around and I get back to the office, and in the office one of the guys is just saying, oh, one of the guys is like swaying about, I think he's under the influence. And when you're dealing with like paintballing or go-karting or any of those events, you've got to be, you have to refuse people if you think they're drunk or high or whatever. And basically one of the guys was saying he doesn't smell of anything, but he's swaying about. He could be an ex-addict for all we know, but he does not look safe to operate a motor vehicle. So we have like a conversation that it's like 5 of us in reception having a conversation because we're trying to deal with who's going to go and ask him and all that. Basically, this guy gets taken through orientation, and another guy goes to talk to the group about, there's a guy here that looks like he's under the influence. If you are, we just politely ask you not to do this. And as he's saying that, the guy comes through and whispers under his breath, "You didn't catch me last time." So, turns out this guy had already been kicked off the course once because he came in stinking of weed. I don't know what they did. They probably didn't let him go on, or what they did say they were going to do is if they let him on, if he crashes even once, which can even be from a mistake, so I haven't gone round yet, but it's quite easy to crash these things. It is very, very easy to crash them.
They are not dodgems.
They're not dodgems, but they're very easy to crash.
No, but dodgems are meant... Oh, wait, no, you didn't come with us to the fucking Windsor Fair thing, did you?
No, I did go to Fort Park though.
Oh, no. When me, Moles, Baffy, Lewis Capaldi, who's behind the camera.
Hello.
And I think that was it. Yeah, we all went. Yeah, there was the one vibe where we all went on the dodgems and we were just all crashing into each other. That was a laugh.
But basically, the last I heard was if he crashes once, he's getting kicked off, and then I left. So, yeah. That's the drama from my first job, which has been, 2 days?
You're making good progress.
I'm making good progress. I've got a few more shifts and I'm going to make bank.
Yes. Capitalism works, people.
Baffy is going to hate you.
No, I've had that conversation. I've had that conversation about... You know, I just want mass deregulation. That's what I want.
It works out.
Because
I'm in the middle.
Like I want mass deregulation. See, the problem isn't capitalism as a system. The problem is you overcomplicating the system. I will die on that hill. The problem isn't the system itself. The problem is overcomplicating the system. So what do? You get rid of all the bureaucracy and let shit function how it should.
It's got a point. But also, I'm in the middle of you and both. Like, you and Bath are 2, and I'm like, there.
Oh yeah, like, if we got the political compass up, I'm like there. Baffy's like polar opposite.
There, and I'm in the middle like, help me.
Yeah.
Please, I just want spaghetti hoops on toast.
This bitch is Bam Baby.
I am Bam Baby. I'm the youngest at the moment. And multiple times I've sent you videos of me having like alphabeti spaghetti on toast.
Also, if there are any drummers out there which live in the UK, give us a holler. Preferably down south, like within like the London Surrey.
Down south, but you're not actually a southerner.
Like within like the London Surrey. Oh, and no girls. I'm sorry, but like no girls. I'm sorry, but like this is a female. Baffy's a chick. No more girls. I'm sorry.
You can't deal with it.
I'm not gonna be the only guy in the band.
You're already my fucking girlfriend.
Look, I know I'm queer as fuck and I can get away with that shit, but I'm not gonna be the only guy in the band.
You don't want to be in the Runaways. You don't want to be a runaway.
Well, I mean, like, okay, that doesn't track because Joan Jett's a lesbian and she was
True.
screwing the singer.
True. She had a thing for blondes until she was a blonde.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But no, if there are any drummers that end up watching this, and you live down south in like the West London, Surrey.
We don't expect much from you.
In like the West London, Surrey. I'm willing to go as far as Chiswick. Okay.
Fucking Chiswick.
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 We're willing to go as far as Chiswick for your ass.
And if you bring cheese, we love you.
Or mango coke, or pickles, because Baffy loves pickles.
Or baby sham.
Or baby sham.
I love baby sham.
Yeah. So like between Bristol, Bristol to West London, and also Brighton, because we will eventually end up in Brighton.
Jesus Christ, we are ADHD incarnate. I haven't even.
So autism.
I have an empty glass. That's bad luck, but autism. I should explain why bread is a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm known as Bread because when I introduce myself to Baffy, our host that isn't here, why aren't you here, bitch?
Yeah.
Come home. We miss you. We're not mad. We just want you home.
Yeah, like apparently then they might be in London, which is just.
They
random.
may be in London currently. We don't know. They're somewhere. They're safe.
They're somewhere with moles looking at pandas.
Yes. I'm known as Bread because I introduced myself as Brill or Red, and it came out as bread apparently, so Bath. So.
And now, and now the little gremlin's just owning it.
Yeah, I'm Bread. And this is Bread. Baby bread.
That's baby bread.
Baby bread. I mean, I eat a lot of bread, so I'm a bit of a cannibal.
Schmer. Patent pending.
I don't think I can trademark bread.
I'll try and trademark schmer.
You're gonna try. I don't know how successful you're gonna be with the trademark of schmer, but
it would work in the States.
It depends if you put a U in there. Schmer with just E's and R's might not be able to be done, but with a U, I might be dyslexic, but. We are weirdos, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We are. I think we should talk, like, band-wise, we have you who can actually sing.
Thank you, honey.
Bath who can actually pay.
Yes.
Me, Sid Vicious but shit.
No, Sid Vicious but better.
Sid Vicious but alive. And no drummer. We are kind of shit, but we're getting there.
Yes.
Music will be out soon, we promise.
Soon? ...
Here's the thing, we're ambitious fuckers, because our first record is going to be a concept album.
And it's a concept album because I wouldn't stop going on about a costume idea.
Yes. Like, the whole concept album... Here's the thing, like, over the past, I want to say year and a half, I've written, like, loads of random song ideas and maybe, like, 5 to 7 actual songs. Most of those are no good now. Because of this bitch. And...
My fault, yeah.
Most of those are no good now because of this bitch going... ... concept album ... And I'm not against that. I actually think that's a really good idea. However, all the legwork I've been doing...
I just came in and went, but what if? I'm an annoying dickhead when it comes to, like, I'm the bassist for fuck's sake. I should just turn up, play my shit and leave. But no, I've turned up, not played my shit, and just criticised your shit and left.
No, you've gone concept album. And I'm like, and Baffy went, that's a good idea. And I went, that's a good idea, however.
I just want to set shit on fire.
We all want to set shit on fire. That's why we're in a rock band.
We're going to be like a weird version of Status Quo.
Fuck no, we're not going to be Status Quo.
I want to be Status Quo!
We're not going to be Status Quo. Status Quo for granddads.
It's true though.
Put that in crackhead.
I really love Status Quo.
Status Quo for granddads.
I am a granddad, but I do love Status Quo. Oh, our lives are just weird at this point. Like, I started this year thinking I was
Last year,
just...
you mean?
I started, yeah, fucking hell. It's already fucking, what, the 4th? No, the 6th?
The 6th.
The 6th. The 6th. I started last year thinking that, I'll just do my degree and get through it. And now I'm like, my degree is 2 years, and I'm in a band now, and I have friends now, and this is happening, and it just keeps going and going and going, and now I'm gone. And I don't know what I'm doing.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. I don't know. Yeah, it's just gone out the window. I'm a bassist in a band, even though I was like, in 2012 I was gonna learn the bass, and never fucking did. Now I'm learning it, and now I'm like, I'm already in a band, even though I don't know the bass. So I'm like,
well, you know chords. That's a start.
I know 4 chords, which is basically every modern song, but playing them actually to a song.
We'll work it out.
We'll work it out. We'll be fine. We'll be great. We'll be dandy with the...
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be... Yeah.
To all the emos out there who got upset when MCR broke up, and by the way, you know they're going to release a new album
They're
after
back
they finish...
together.
No, you know they're going to release a new album after they finish their tour. You know they are. You know they're... Oh, and Conventional Weapons is fucking canon. I don't care what anyone says. But anyway...
Are you really an MCR fan if you haven't watched Umbrella Academy?
Yeah, Umbrella Academy.
I've got the comics upstairs.
But anyway, to all of the... This is a message to all of emo kind, and all of metalhead kind, and all of...
Queer kind, basically?
Queer goth kind.
Queer goth kind.
Our shit will... Our shit... We should hopefully start putting shit out, I want to say... But wait, January, February, March,
Oh
April,
god,
May.
now you're jinxing us.
Maybe June. Maybe around June.
I can see June.
Maybe around June. And, like, I call on the legion of emos and goths and queers, like, to just rally around us and do what you do best.
It's like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but you're all wearing eyeliner and black. Like, that's it. Like, eyeliner, black, and those belts with studs on.
Yeah, I need to get my ass some of those.
Yeah.
Mm.
The thing is, like, it sucks in the UK. So, like, anyone in America, we don't have a hot topic. We have to go on Amazon.
Well, actually, no, we do, but it's in London.
Where there's one, and you can't really get delivered.
Well, actually, no. The vibe is this. If you want alternative shit, you have to go to Camden.
Yeah. Or you have to go Etsy or eBay.
No, there are like in enclaves. You go Camden, or you go Brighton, or you go Bristol, or you go Glasgow. Maybe
Killstar. Killstar's good. This is Killstar.
Maybe Cardiff. Maybe Cardiff. Maybe Manchester. Maybe Nottingham. But like living in the vibes that we live in, which is basically the suburbs. If you're a fucking Yank. Yeah, again, we will get to America eventually, and please don't hate us. Like it is tradition to dunk on
You can't be British without saying "fuck you, America."
Like it is tradition to dunk on the Americans. Like as long as you're doing worse than us, we know we're okay.
Yeah.
Like
even your like economic like standards of living, where it comes to like judging a place off of the Big Mac, we have cheaper Big Macs than you.
And you do not have and you have no national health service.
Yeah.
Like
you're shit.
Like the NHS is in a terrible position at the moment, which is okay. Both major parties are responsible for that. It's not just the Tories, and it's not just Tories, and it's not just Labour. It's both of them. However, like 2 words: Tony Blair.
Fucking Tony. So I come from a criminological background, so I've done criminological psychology as a degree, and Tony Blair is a fucker when it comes to like prison systems.
You motherfuckers will remember him best for being the guy who went to fucking Washington. No, not Washington.
Probably Washington.
No, not Washington's the guy who founded the country.
No, Washington DC is a
No.
New York?
No.
Kansas? And China?
Who was president around 2001?
I don't fucking know. Bush?
Bush.
Bush.
Yeah. He went to Bush Senior. Bush Senior went to Blair and said, "I'm going to go to war in the Middle East on a lie. Will you back me?" And Blair said yes.
Yeah, but Blair is also the guy that, like, he had all the research on, like, punishment being the main, like, issue around prisons. Like, he had all the research suggesting that punishment doesn't actually reform.
Sure.
And when, but everyone in the public wants punishment instead of reform.
Yeah,
so therefore I will punish, not reform. Which led to, like, shit ton of, like, re-offences.
Yeah, but, like, Blair, in my eyes, has committed 3 major sins.
Blair is a twat.
Blair is a twat, and he got knighted.
I don't know how.
It's because he was Prime Minister.
But also the Queen.
Oh no, the Queen. Oh no, the Queen's dead. May she rest in peace.
May she rest in peace, but also your son's a nonce, send him to jail.
Yeah, well...
Like, he's a nonce, send him to jail.
The royal family have a special kind of diplomatic community, which is weird. But, also, I don't know if the Yanks are getting sick of Harry and Meghan at this point, but they will get divorced eventually.
They need to end... They're going to end up in Canada. They're going to get a house in Canada, and that's going to be
also,
where they
America,
are
please just give the Canadians Alaska. I beg you.
I know.
Like, make them pay double what you had to pay the Russians.
Hear me out. Don't give America Alaska. Give the Bee Gees Alaska for the song. Because no one knows the song Road to Alaska.
No. Make them pay double. Make the Canadians pay double what they paid the Russians, but just give it to them. Like, when we look on map, we see Alaska next to Canada, and, like, does not compute. But anyway, back to Blair. Blair, in my eyes, has committed 3 major sins. The war, obviously. Yeah. Devolution, which has failed, because all it's done is create nutters like Nicola Sturgeon. And immigration. Now, immigration is a touchy subject in this country, but it has to be talked about.
Immigration is that thing where people don't realise that it's just never going to stop. Like, you've basically got to put in a...
Well, but in the early 2000s, Blair basically rewrote, not even rewrote the immigration rules, he just rewrote them and then ignored them. He just basically said, the American message of give me you're sick, you're ill, and all that sort of crap. And then the world started coming to the UK. The
thing with immigration, no one realises that the people that are coming in on boats aren't actually coming in directly, getting into our, like, benefit system or work and all that. They're going directly into human slavery.
And they're all being put up in hotels.
But no, most of them aren't. Most of them are just getting onto the surface and then directly taken to human trafficking.
Yeah, but they're getting in here by human trafficking as well.
That they don't know, though. So basically, the human trafficking starts when they get there.
Yeah.
Because they claim that they owe more money. That's how it goes on. So human trafficking at the moment, so slavery is such a weird thing at the moment because everyone's like, oh, it stopped with America. No one's doing slavery anymore. No, they're still doing it. If you go to
By the way, on the subject of slavery, the British are the ones that ended that fought. Basically, the British Empire bullied all the other empires to stop practicing slavery.
We did that. However, now Britain itself, British people aren't actually really responsible for any slavery. However, it is happening a lot in Britain because anyone that's coming from abroad over to immigrate through nefarious circumstances will go directly into human trafficking. That will be through farms who think they're just ordering help from an agency. It'll be nail salons who are run by human traffickers who aren't actually British citizens.
Sure.
There will be hairdressers that aren't British citizens. There'll be packing plants. All of that. People don't realise that, like, just because you're going for a spray tan or acrylic nails or you get strawberries out of season because no one's picking them in the UK. That's all done by slave labour. These people may be getting paid little bits, but they're going to have to give that money back to the people that are housing them because they're claiming a monopoly on what they're getting. It is the modern equivalent of the, Cadbury's towns, where they set up towns and basically anything you brought went back to Cadbury's. It's that, but they're getting paid less. They're not actually British citizens and they can't bring their family over. That's what's happening right now. And you
do need to stop the boats, though.
You do need to stop the boats, but the issue isn't the people coming in. It's the people who are bringing the boats over. The fact that people are coming over in boats shows that an immigration policy is just not working.
Agreed.
It is a 10-year waiting list just to get the forms that you need to do it legally. Therefore, people are paying tens of £20,000-30,000 to come over, 1 or 2 people, and then
not even that. The UK as a country. Okay, America. I know America has its problems when it comes to you've got the Mexican border and people flood over the Mexican border. America could realistically soak up. What's the population of New York? It's about 7 million.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you could realistically soak up about 10 New Yorks and be okay. The UK couldn't because the UK isn't the same size as America.
You get the issue of especially older generations, because some people in my family have said, "Oh, let's just shoot out the boats and let them drown." Yeah, but they're human lives, and the thing is, if you shoot one boat out, 2 more are going to come. It's not the place of sending people back. I mean, that's never going to work.
People have already died in the Channel, and that's not doing anything.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter if you send people back or what. They're coming from one country to you for a reason. Until you tackle that reason and either make that country better for them or give them a house somewhere else, you're not going to stop immigration. If you really want to stop it and you're going to complain about people taking your jobs and all this, why don't you give that money that you're using to house them and all the people that are complaining and improve their country? If you're not going to improve their country, you can't complain about them coming to your country that you think is great.
Question: why is it the responsibility of the British government, for example?
The thing is, it isn't, but it is.
Why is it the responsibility of, say, the British government to improve the circumstances of someone in Sudan, for example?
As a humanist,
yes.
When it comes to Sudan or any country we've gone to war in, we should probably be giving back.
In the case of somewhere like Afghanistan, I agree with you.
If it's in a place we've gone to war with, because let's be honest, not even all our soldiers are out yet.
Sure.
There's still people over there. Also, given the chemical weapons, because we were using chemical weapons, there is reported proof, because our soldiers are coming back with health issues related to chemical weapons.
Sure.
Dumping, all that. We need to pay back because we've damaged that country. But also, we only went to war in that country for stupid things like oil.
And, the war on terror was based on a lie.
Yeah. When it comes to people...
Robert's Rebellion was based on a lie.
When it comes to immigration, the problem becomes of, it's not the fact of, are we responsible? It's the fact of, if people are trying that hard to come to our country, there is something wrong in that country. And if you want to stop it, there is no reason of arguing, but we're not that great compared to them. But you've got to do something.
I look at this from an integration point of view. You can't integrate X generation if people keep coming in.
But also, you can't stop people from coming in without doing something on their side.
Sure, but again,
it's not our responsibility.
I agree with you that there's a responsibility with somewhere like Afghanistan because the Americans and the British were there for 20
what I'm trying
plus,
to say is
for about 20 years.
Let's say Romania or Russia or something like that. When there is large immigration, there's usually large immigration because our country looks better.
Russia can soak it up because the size of Russia.
What I'm trying to say is when immigration happens in a country that we're not in war with, but theirs is considered less than ours, when that immigration happens, it's because their country is worse off than ours. Or to them... No, let me finish. To them, it's worse off. Therefore, you either make your country look shit or you help them. There isn't really an answer in between there. You can close off your ports, but people are still going to come in. if you make higher security, people are just going to come in more dangerous ways.
Sure.
So it becomes the point of either you make a safe passage of travel to keep yourself safe and them safe, or you go back to that country and try and make that country better. However, if you try and make that country better, usually it doesn't go into the places where it would actually benefit the people who are immigrating.
Well, like, you look at the current state of the Tories, and the Tories have been in power since 2010, and if they do not sort out the small boats crisis, they will get voted out. And
it's an issue that can't actually be solved. It's an issue that can be improved, but I don't think it can be solved.
It can't be solved within 2 years.
It can't be solved because the thing is, it's such an issue of, like, no one has responsibility. If you think about it...
It can't be solved within 2 years.
You can't solve it because, like, if you let more people in, there's still going to be people that can't get in, so who will have to pay to come over, and they will come through illegally. If you make a safer way of getting those illegal immigrants in, and then just send them somewhere else, they're still going to come back in at some point. But also they'll be less well off, so they'll be more likely to get into slavery.
Yeah.
It's just a big circle.
It can't be solved within 2 years, but it needs to be solved.
It's like, I don't believe in borders, but also, if you didn't have any borders, I think the, like, immigration and getting people over probably would actually be worse.
Oh.
But it's a big issue.
It's a natural border. It's a fucking sea.
It can't be solved by one person alone. It needs to be a group of countries come together and be like, what are we going to do? There is an issue with people being in situations that aren't well off, and that they think that giving 10 grand of their savings is going to get them somewhere safer.
Or just wait until, would that even work? Like, I mean, the next French election's in 2027.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter if one country does something different. It has to be a whole group of, like... It's like, I didn't believe in us leaving the EU, because immigration is one of the things that, in the EU, they could probably have solved if they all gang together, but they decided, no, let's just fuck off.
Nah, the EU is an unelected bureaucracy, which says they're going to do X and never does X.
No, but you see what I mean? Like, when it comes to immigration, it's not the country the people are immigrating from's responsibility, and it's not the people who they're immigrating to's responsibility. It is a whole global issue. If not every country is equal, and if not every country has the things that support everyone, there's always going to be issues. It's like when people move from...
Okay, when you say you don't believe in borders, the fact of the matter is borders are a necessary evil.
No, they are.
Now.
No, what I'm trying to say is, like, I would believe in no borders. However, because of immigration, if you got rid of all borders, literally there'd be like 10 years of people fighting over resources.
Yes.
And then it would calm down. However,
also,
that would depend on
Also,
weapons.
you have to take into account, and we've had this conversation, you have to take into account that not every culture is like the West. You would have people coming from, Saudi Arabia and...
There's so many...
Saudi Arabia and Mongolia and Brazil, everyone. And, alright.
The thing is...
If enough people from a different cultural hemisphere, let's say, come to a different area, that culture will drastically change.
But you've also got to understand that you couldn't do no borders unless the entire globe agrees to it.
Yes.
On top of that, you've got what was I going to say? You've got the fact that, like, I think there is universal laws. So, like, you shouldn't be sleeping with children.
Sure.
You shouldn't be raping women. There's so many things that,
unless they're up for it.
If they're up for it, it's not
technically rape.
Yeah. There's so many different things. Like, it's almost like there needs to be a global committee. And, like,
but
a year or 3 or 5 or 6 years of conversation.
Whenever that's tried, though, whether it's the EU...
It just doesn't work.
Whenever that's tried, though, whether it's the EU or the United Nations or...
No, I know it doesn't work, but... I'm not working on logical... I'm not working on what's proven, I'm working on theory.
Whatever the equivalent is in South America or East Asia or whatever, it never works.
I agree.
Because you have far too much fucking bureaucracy.
I agree, but the point is, when it comes to immigration of any nation, I mean any nation at all, you cannot solve the problem unless you tackle it at the source, at the middle, and at the end. You have to tackle it from the entire thing. So you don't want people dying midway between yours and that country's sea. You don't want people dying on your shore. You don't want people being enslaved in your country. But you also don't really want those people to even start leaving their country at the beginning. And the problem is with that, is you've got to make sure everything throughout that line of like immigration is changed, is evolved, is new. But that won't happen because countries won't work together. But also, there are too many, and I mean too many charities. Like, am I supposed to give to the Middle East? Am I supposed to give to Ukraine? Am I supposed to give to the UK? Like, there is so many fucking charities.
Free Palestine!
Yeah, Free Palestine. But when it comes to, like, me as a citizen, like, I feel like everyone's looking at you to do something more, but you can't support everything.
No, you can't.
You can't. And, like, you can physically support everything, like, mentally. But, like, when it comes, as a humanist, I just want everyone to get on, evolve, and, like, progress as best as they can. However, that can't happen, especially now, because obviously you got Saudi Arabia being, like, killing random women for showing their hair.
Saudi Arabia... No, you're thinking of Iran.
Well, no, both. No, both.
Yeah, well, the thing in Iran might lead to regime change.
There's everything. And the problem is, it's been like that since the dawn of time. The moment there is a difference in religion, in culture, in anything, there's going to be a war, there's going to be hate, there's going to be mass loss of life. And I don't care what anyone says, it is always massive loss of life that is civilians.
'Tis the human condition.
It is the human condition. And it's depressing. But unless you tackle it at the source, and like, you need to tackle it at the source, in the middle, and at the end. So if people are immigrating from one place, you tackle it there, you tackle it in the ocean, and then you tackle it at your place. That's the only way to stop it. Like, if you wanted to stop it, or just to make it more legal. That's the only way to make anything better. But the only problem is, our country, and most countries are like, if they get here, we'll send them to the next country, and then they'll send them to that country, they'll send them to that one, to send them that to... Like, it just ends up as a zigzag of, like, whose responsibility is it?
Yeah, I swear, well...
We send them to France, mostly.
Oh no, the French send them to the UK, and then...
So, if they come to the UK, we send them to France. If they come to France, they send them to the UK, but the UK sends them back to France. And let's be honest, France and the UK have never got on, so that doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, well,
because the only people that are immigrating from France to the UK are usually doing it through the border.
Well,
the thing
is, like, I think one of the biggest mistakes the government's making is they're talking to Macron, who, well, my feelings about Macron aside, you should be talking to Le Pen. Because, like, she's probably going to get in the next election, and she'll probably be she'll probably be very hardline when it comes to...
That's the problem, is probably. See, a country can't go to the probably, they have to go to definite now.
Sure.
So, like, let's say, I don't know.
Well, I mean, her vote share has grown consistently.
Let's say when it came from Theresa May and Boris Johnson. Theresa May was in charge, so therefore anything to do with immigration, policy, or anything...
Boris.
No, you're hearing me. Anything that had to be talked about will go to her and then to her party. So you couldn't go directly to Boris. We all agree that Boris is shit. But
I had a lot of high hopes for Boris, but he ended up being shit. But what I'm
trying to say is, when Theresa May was struggling, you couldn't take what her responsibilities were and give them to Boris, because that's just how countries work. It's like in America, when you say something, it goes to the president, and then it goes down, or if it's something that needs everyone to vote on.
President, Vice President, Speaker of the House, etc.
That's just the rules of general things. So when you try to be like, oh, this guy's useless, but this one's not, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait for the one that isn't useless to get into power. Yeah, but in a presidential system, you don't vote for the party, you vote for the individual candidate. Over here, it's the opposite way around. Yeah, but you still see what I mean. Like, you can't give the information or what needs to be done or the votes to the person. that isn't currently on the seat. You've
Yeah.
got to wait, or you've got to give them to the person on the seat and hope they see sense.
Sure.
That's the problem with politics, because it's not the case of
Well,
who's
it's
the
also-
best for the job,
it's
it's
also-
the case for who
It's also
votes
the
for
fact
who.
that, like, if you're a politician, if you're a career politician, if you're a mayor or a governor or a president or a prime minister or whatever other title you can think of, you only think in 4, 5, 7 year windows.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't honestly think that anyone who's been elected for 4 years has actually gone out and done what they think they're going to do. Because the thing is, to reform a whole country in every aspect, you're going to need more than that. And that's why, like, Tony Blair, like, he focused on the prison system. Really, if you look at it, he did.
Yeah.
And he did it badly, because he did what's called as popular politics, and that means is you ignore what the facts say unless they reflect what the population wants. So in his day and age, everyone wanted punishment. Whereas, logically speaking, when it comes to things that are proven by fact, when it comes to like prisons or healthcare or things like that, it shouldn't be the option of the public to choose if their choice is proven wrong by the statistics or by like honest evidence. Like let's say there's a study done tomorrow, or 3 or 4 studies, or 5,000 studies that proved that giving, let's say, teenagers over the age of 14 testosterone if they're trans man, female to male, worked and was like stopped suicide in that age group, like full out. If that was proven, technically by our government standard, they wouldn't have to enforce that if the public thought, no, that doesn't make sense, or no, we don't believe in that. Even though the evidence, the unpolitical facts prove that it's right, the government can go, no, we're choosing not to. That's what government is. At this point in our era, and every era, it's always been what the public thinks, which is not always the best answer.
See, that's why I respect Thatcher, because she didn't really care about public opinion.
She didn't care about public opinion, however, her opinion was... So, one of the things...
It's one of the reasons I respect Thatcher.
So, Thatcher, for me, I don't agree with her with closing all the mines simultaneously and not having replacement jobs.
Sure.
If she closed the mines but had replacement jobs for the miners, it would have worked. But that's not the fact that I disagree with the most. I'm anti-Thatcher to a core for many reasons, and one of those is in community
I am
care.
not anti-Thatcher. I respect the woman. I disagree with some of what she... I disagree with some of what she did. She wasn't perfect.
Her theories that she based her programs and all that on made sense. However, most of them didn't have the like afterthought put into them. So like in community care, so she closed all asylums. All asylums needed to be closed. They weren't working, they weren't tackling the issue of mental health, and they were really just a halfway home for homeless people. But instead of actually putting in like community centres...
Halfway homes suck, by the way.
Instead of putting in community centres, families that will care for people with needs and things like that, she just closed the asylums and let people go on the streets and said, if you're mentally ill, you have the ability to cure yourself. Which is her whole thing was, if you're poor, that's your choice, you can lift yourself up, and all this other stuff. That makes sense in our community if everything is free to get, but it's not. It might look like it is, because we have free NHS and free education, but anything other...
We don't have free education in the UK, in England rather.
We have free education to a point.
In Scotland, university is free, in England it's not.
No, but I said we have free education to a point. We have free education... In Margaret Thatcher's time, we would have had it till 15. And then you have to pay for it, or you have to get a internship or whatever, which is hard to get if you're not a grade A student and if you looked a bit naughty. And let's be honest, your children, you should be allowed to be a bit naughty. Like, that's the whole point of being a child. Margaret Thatcher put in all of these, like, stipulations and closures and all of this without the fucking infrastructure. if she had the infrastructure, let's say she had care homes, let's say she had families that took in homeless people, if she had mental hospitals set up, if she had the medication set up, if she had all the things she needed to be set up before closing the places down, she would have been great. But she wasn't. That's why she's Margaret Thatcher. That's why she's the Wicked Witch of the West. That's why she's seen as a bad guy. She had good ideas, but the good ideas needed to be seen through from start to finish. She sold them to the middle, which was the point of closure, and not the finish. That is why Margaret Thatcher's bad, in my opinion. She said what she was going to do. She did it, but didn't see it through.
The thing with Thatcher is a lot of what she did was based purely on instinct.
Yeah.
She didn't. I agree with you that she didn't really. Well, she did what Liz Truss. She did what Liz Truss just did. But by the way, blinking you'll miss it. But like, she did. A lot of what she did was based purely on an instinct, and she didn't really consult anybody. She just went ahead and did it.
You're right and you're wrong, because Margaret Thatcher did have, like, I can't remember where the philosophy comes from, but her philosophy was any situation that happens is the fault of the person that's in it. That was her theory. So if you're poor because you made yourself poor. However, she didn't look into years and years and years of people being put down and made poor by the aristocracy.
Well, her philosophy, her conviction, her way of viewing the world was shaped by her father.
Yes, but you've also got to remember, she was the politician that left before she should have every day to cook dinner for her husband, because she was innately sexist. She was misogynistic at heart. She left every day, I think before 5, I might be wrong in the timings, but she would leave so she could cook her husband breakfast and dinner and all these other things.
Her husband didn't really do much.
At one point, she stopped doing actual work because her son went off and got lost in a touring car event.
Yeah, in the middle of Africa or something.
Yes, what she said she did. However, what she said she did, but didn't do it successfully. And at the end of the day, if you're not liked by your people, are you really a good Prime Minister?
Well, I mean, she was disliked, and she was like this. She was disliked again.
She was highly disliked.
Also, one of the things from my side of the fence is this: Thatcherism is baked into the DNA of the Tories now.
Yes,
it's absolutely baked into the DNA of the Tories.
I feel like Thatcher, the problem with Thatcher is she brings up so many ethical debates.
Sure. But that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is Thatcherism is baked into the DNA of the Tory party now. It doesn't matter if you're on the left of the party or on the right of the party. It is baked into the DNA of the party now. And it's all we're talking about how there's no vision and there's no real new ideas anymore.
I don't think
it's baked into the DNA of the party now, and it's almost their default.
But I don't think people identify I think this year and the year before has been high on the homelessness has been a giant issue, hasn't it?
Sure.
It's huge.
Sure.
It's a huge issue at the moment. However, no one realises that homelessness is only a giant issue because of Thatcher. Because when she shut down the asylums, so asylums used to be in the UK. I'm not saying America, because in the UK, asylums used to be the place where you just put everyone. If they were kids with no parents, but they seemed a little bad, they would go in. If they were kids that seemed to have ADHD, dyslexia, learning difficulties, and the parents didn't want them, go in, because care homes didn't want them. If you're homeless and you're drunk, be that because you were an veteran, or if you were a police officer, or all that, you'd end up in them. Basically, anyone who was homeless would end up in these asylums unless they were literally on the streets. Margaret Thatcher closed them all, but didn't open a single, and I mean this, she didn't open a single community care. She didn't do any community housing, because she was against it. She didn't open a single community house. There was no proper new developments for housing, unless you were already in there before her reign.
That's also a big problem now, to be fair.
All of that is because of Thatcher. I don't care what you say. Yeah, she said she was going to close them, she closed them. She said she was going to close the asylums. She closed them. She stopped free school meals. She stopped them. All that other stuff. Yes, saved us money. Yes, pulled us out of a hole. However, we are still paying for that hole. And if you totaled it all up, we haven't actually made any money. We've lost it still. We're still losing it. We still have homeless people. And instead of... We don't even open new housing for them. But we still make our shops have spikes on the sides and things like that. So homeless people can't even sleep. We have architecture that's against homeless people. That is deliberate. That's what Margaret Thatcher has started. She might not be the person that actually did it, but it's the same as saying Hitler didn't actually kill any Jews. He didn't physically shoot a gun. He didn't physically turn on a gas changer.
Are you honestly comparing Thatcher to Hitler?
Yes. Yes, I am. She is the cause of most homeless today, and Hitler is the cause of mass extermination. She is not as bad as Hitler, and she didn't do what Hitler did, but when we say...
Hitler committed genocide.
Hear me out. When we say she's not responsible or she's done stuff, you can make the same arguments about Hitler, and that's where it's dark. It's like when you say Star Wars is basically the inspiration of the storyline of Harry Potter. You see what I mean? They are subpar, and they're the same sort of storyline, just different levels of bad. Margaret Thatcher is the reason we have horrific social care at the moment, and the reason that most Tories and the richer sides of Tories are like, if you're poor, it's your problem. You're the ones who made yourself poor, when it's not.
Well, I'd say Blair is also responsible.
Blair is also responsible.
Because Blair tried to reform the NHS by semi-privatising it.
But where did he get these ideas from?
By semi-privatising it, by introducing targets. So you have to meet the X target here, etc., etc.
But where did he get the ideas from? Thatcher. It all boils down to her. And I will admit, she's not the person that came up with the theories of social care and all that other stuff. She's not. But she's the one who popularised it because she was in charge and she decided, this is what I'm going to do. And that's what she did. That means, as a country who have free speech, we should be allowed... let's be honest, if someone put up a statue today of Margaret Thatcher, it's going to get destroyed. It's the reason why statues of her get destroyed. It's the reason that on her funeral we play The Wicked Witch is Dead. It's all the reasons. It is because she wasn't technically a bad politician. It's just we're still paying for her shit.
Oh no, I don't think she was a bad politician.
No, she wasn't. She did what she said she was going to do.
No, everything she did was based on instinct, and I don't think she thought things through more than once.
No, she did what she thought was right, which at the time would have saved us money. However, she wasn't there for social. She was there literally just for this needs to close and this needs to close. She wasn't there for our country is having a problem at the moment because we're in the mid-80s, 90s, and we got tons
Well, she lasted till 91?
Yeah. We're in the 80s to the 90s where loads of people are out of jobs, loads of people are mentally ill, those who are out of jobs are becoming mentally ill, those who are homeless have been kicked out of the houses where they could get 3 square meals a day, and all of that. And I'm not going to put in social housing or care centres or anything. I'm just going to say, on live TV, on live radio, on articles, if you're poor, it is because you choose to be. She has said that multiple times. She did. And she never argued that point. She was not a people's PM. She was a PM, but she was not a people's PM. She did what she was going to say she did. She saved our country from economic collapse. However, we are dealing with the economic collapse now that she has caused. Through homelessness, through mental health, and all this.
That's a bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
She saved from economic collapse.
So closing the mines saved us money, right?
Sure.
Closing the asylums stopped what looked like inaccurate care and bad stuff, helped us look good. And all that other stuff, she did loads of stuff, but she didn't do...
Okay, the difference between Thatcher and Blair is Blair created a team. You had Brown, you had Alistair Campbell, you had Peter Mandelson. As far as I can tell, Thatcher, and this might be just out of sheer arrogance, but Thatcher was...
From what I can tell, you're right. She literally was on her own.
Thatcher was just on her own.
She said what she needed to do, which everyone's...
this might be just out of sheer arrogance, but Thatcher just went on her own and said, you're either with me or against me. She
was the first female, basically. And I think most of the men went, well, that was what we were going to do anyway, so we'll just do it. And we're not... But they knew, everyone knew, the moment they shut down mines, nothing else, the moment they shut down mines, there was going to be backlash. She was a scapegoat. However, she made it worse for herself because she said stuff like, if you're poor, it's because you choose to be. Which, I think you can agree, it isn't.
Yeah, that's definitely a layered statement.
It's a layered statement. Like, there are people who choose to be poor because they don't bother doing anything. However, the majority of people who are poor have tried everything and anything to either get a job, get money, get help from the government, everything. Whereas Margaret Thatcher said things like, if you're poor, you choose to be.
Well, this is what I mean by, like, I think the majority of her actions were just based on instinct.
Yeah, she like, it's the same thing as my dad says. So my granddad is very Thatcher. He voted for her.
And he doesn't regret it.
Well, I've had arguments with him, but he doesn't quite see it from my point because he's lucky rich. Like, he's got money now. He never used to. So when he voted for Thatcher, let's put it this way, he was very working class. So it doesn't quite make sense. However, he's working class and we're Southish. So very different to the mines.
Right.
My dad, on the other hand, goes, I respect Thatcher, but I can see where people hate her because she does what she said she was going to do. She said she was going to close the mines. She said she was going to close the asylum. And what did she do? Close both.
See, that's basically my position. I respect her, but I understand why.
But when it comes to actually... When you're a politician and you stop something, like mines, steelworks, a form of social care, which asylums were... but weren't, because they were mostly private. They were sort of like... They were teetering on the edge because asylums were shit.
Yeah.
Like, they were electrocuting people, they were drugging people, they were beating people, they were putting people in padded cells when they should have just been in the care side of things. There was shit going on. It's like going up to a care home and closing it and not bothering to rehouse anyone. That is what she did.
I heard that happen to me once, actually.
Yeah. Because she decided, because of her theory on you're poor because you choose to be, she decided that, like, the community is the base for where people should help. Makes sense. However, unless you put in, like, care homes and things like that, it won't happen. Unless you put in a program before you shut down an office, it won't happen.
She also said there's no such thing as society.
Yeah. Her theories kind of work. However, you need to put something in place beforehand. It's like you couldn't...
This is what I mean by...
It's like if you had a school full of kids, you can't shut that school down until you get another school.
Bread. Everything Thatcher did was based on instinct. And because it was based on instinct, she didn't think everything through. And because she didn't think everything through, backlash occurred.
That's why you need more than just Thatcher. You need Thatcher plus her party... to also, like, you need Thatcher to come up with the idea and then the party to go, yes, we can do that, but we're going to have to lose 10 grand on opening this new home.
Yeah.
Or we're going to have to lose 10 grand on moving everyone from these houses to this new area with actual jobs. Because obviously back in the day there was no Indeed, there was no job sites, there was no nothing.
Yeah.
Like, if you've ever watched the full Monty, that was like the 90s and that was when job centres opened. Like, in the 80s, you were fucked. If you were working in mines since your dad was working in mines and they shut them down...
Granddad, more likely.
Yeah, you were fucked. Like, that house you were living in was stipulations of that mine. If you're not working in the mine, you can't pay for the house, so therefore you have to move.
Right. Okay, now I'm going to defend Thatcher. She did institute massive deregulation, and she did give the Argentines a black eye. And she did introduce right to buy.
But if you don't have the money to begin with, you're a bit fucked. Like, that just serves people like Thatcher. So, when you're working class Britain in the 80s and early 90s, and you see someone only serving upper to middle class, what are you going to do? You're going to revolt. And we have this as, if you've ever watched the movie Pride, you have literal gay and lesbians who are being ridiculed in the press and being told that they're just disease bags walking around, defending minors because they're in the same boat, because that's how people were treated. It's not the first and it won't be the last. Majorities end up fighting together, and unfortunately they didn't do much. So, like in 84, I think
there's probably more things I can cite in terms of what Thatcher did, but those are just like the main ones.
I will never disagree that Thatcher did what she said she was going to do. She did some great things and stopped us from being all broke. However,
I mean, I am not a Thatcherite. I am not a Thatcherite, but I do respect the woman.
Yeah. Again, I also respect death, so I don't really think the Wicked Witch is dead thing is great, but also I kind of understand, like, people were celebrating when Saddam Hussein was killed, Osama bin Laden was killed.
I will pop a bottle of champagne when Blair dies.
Yeah, like, there's a bit of a weird argument when it comes to people that have actually caused you issue, because I've been caused issue through Thatcher. Like, student loans and things, because, like, at one point, if Thatcher didn't come around, my degree would have been free.
Yeah. I will pop a bottle of champagne when Blair dies. I will.
He's made stupid decisions, but this has turned into a very political podcast. But we've kind of gone off on a tangent here. We knew it was going to happen, but like I feel like it's impossible to be
right winger, centre left,
if not very very left.
If Baffy was here, like we would have gone on for ages. We would have gone on for a lot longer.
The thing is, I think it's impossible to have a British podcast without mentioning Thatcher. It's like having a British podcast or Blair, or Gordon Brown, or the Queen.
No, rest in peace, Lizzie.
Like, I'm not a big royalist. I did like the Queen, like, as a character, but also I was like, bitch, your fucking son is a nonce.
Also, like, we all thought she'd live to 100.
Yeah, her death was very untimely. Like, I definitely thought she had at least one more year.
I thought she'd live to 100.
Because me and my family were joking about her writing her own letter to herself. Because you know when you're 100 you get a telegram. I think you still do, but I think you get them from King Charles now. Did you watch the King's speech?
No.
It was weird. Also, Camilla's a lump. I know people are going to hate me, but if you like Camilla, you are a certain kind of
So basically, if you're Pam.
If you're Pam from
Gavin and
Stacey.
Also, James Corden, write the fucking wedding episode.
Yeah, James Corden, we need to know, yes or no.
Write the fucking wedding episode, okay?
You can't leave Ness like that. It'll be another Christmas episode for sure.
For sure.
For sure. Oh, I feel like we should probably end it here. You're still eating.
Yes, I'm still eating.
Should we end it?
Well, like, this isn't the proper ending.
Oh, God. I just realised you probably had, like, crumbs on your hand and you just rubbed my hair.
No, it'll be on this hand.
James Corden. We don't want him back, by the way.
Oh, yeah, like, you're banned from the UK. Like, we'll petition the government.
You can't get a visa.
Go to Australia.
No! I like Australia.
No, but like in the olden times when like we'd send criminals to Australia.
Yeah, but we also sent them to America.
Details.
Do you like Australia less than America?
No, I like America more than I like Australia more than America.
Good choice. America should keep him then. He fits their vibe of being quite shit.
Send him to Alaska.
I still can't get over, like, our right wing is their left, basically. Like, America, why do you only have two parties? Like, why? It makes no sense.
Well, they also have the Libertarian Party, which is kind of in the middle, but they don't really do much.
They don't do shit. They can never get a vote.
Yeah, make the damn wedding episode. Doesn't matter if you doesn't matter if you don't make anything after that, but make the damn wedding episode.
We need to know.
Yeah, we need to know.
I miss Ness.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, I can't remember her name, but the actress that plays Nessa,
Ruth something.
Ruth, did a, she's got an honorary doctorate, or an actual doctorate, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. She's got a doctorate of some sort, and she obviously did a, graduation ceremony, and the end of the end of her speech, she just went into Nessa. And from that day on, I'm like, I really want Nessa to show up at my graduation ceremony. I want Nessa.
Tidy.
Do you actually like those?
They're not bad.
I think they were like 40p.
By the way, well done Mexico for legalising gay marriage.
Woo!
That happened like a month ago, I think.
Oh, we're late. We're going to be very late when we upload this. Let's go, Mexico, let's go. Is it gay marriage, or is it something weird like only men and men can marry?
I don't know, but like they legalise. I know that like in India right now, it might happen. And in India right now, there's a court ruling going on which will determine whether or not it becomes legal in India.
India is probably most likely going to vote yes, but that's basically because we went in and conquered it. Have you ever heard like there's like family situations in India where like half of them are Christian and half of them are Muslim. So half of them are Indian and half of them are British Indian. And it's such a weird dynamic. So like,
well, India is a majority Hindu country.
Hindu, sorry. But because obviously we went in and conquered, a lot of them just speak English as their first language. But also they're Indians, so they have the Indian accent. So that's why whenever you get like a call centre, it's Indian people. And they're like, why the fuck did you leave us here? Like, you just up and left in the middle. Like, we literally up and left a country that we converted to Christianity and English overnight.
Well, Gandhi asked us to leave.
Yeah, we just left overnight, though.
No, Gandhi asked us to leave. And then there was the partition where you had India... No, actually, no. You had the Indian subcontinent, and that got split up between India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. That's now the vibe.
But we're still up and left a country that we converted into, like... It's like leaving a country that you converted to Apple, but only leaving them a, like, Samsung charger. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I love that metaphor.
Like, we left them speaking random English with an Indian accent, and now they're like, okay, we guess we're going to work in call centres. That's like literally what they said. Like, we do that.
We were asked to leave, so we left. So we politely left.
Yeah, but we still fucked over the country before leaving.
Oh yeah, we drew the borders.
They're like,
mind you, like, have you seen the borders? Have you seen the borders of fucking not Pakistan. I said it a minute ago. Have you seen the borders of Bangladesh? They're fucking weird.
I kind of want to go to India, but also, like, I think...
Oh, we're going to India.
I always feel like I'm going to get beaten up in a different country, but... I mean, if David Bowie can stare down a Texan with a gun in his face whilst wearing a dress, I think I can.
We're going to India. Like, isn't there an episode of Top Gear where they go to India?
Yes, because they go on motorbikes.
No, that's the Vietnam one.
Is that... No,
that's the Vietnam one.
No. Do they drive three-wheelers in India?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Top Gear where they go to India, and I remember it because they race a train.
Yes. So Hammond and they are on the train, and Hammond and Clarkson are on the train, transporting two of the cars, and they ruin May's car.
Yeah, they race a train.
I also feel like we're going to end up doing a Top Gear thing where we wreck each other's cars. Which I would kill you for if it's a good car, but...
So would I if I managed to get my hands on a fucking E-Type.
He's obsessed with an E-Type.
It's my favourite car. It's my favourite car.
You're going to have a fucking time getting into it. They're not easy to get into.
I don't care. I want one. I'm going to get one.
It's like getting like a Bugatti or something now. Like, literally, only I could fit into a Bugatti.
Rev up the Bugatti, way!
That reminds me, fucking like, what's his name? Andrew Tate has been arrested. Way!
We know he's been arrested. He got nicked by the... Okay, you have to do some shady ass shit for the Romanians to come down on you. The Romanians, people!
But also over basically just the pizza box. Because he was flashing off to Greta Thunberg.
Well done, Greta. Well
done, Greta!
You're doing God's work. You're doing God's work. Also, can somebody please make a meme which goes, your Greta Thunberg, our Greta Van Fleet. Can someone please make that meme? Can someone please make that meme?
Why are there so many Gretas? Why is there so many Gibbs?
I don't know.
Don't know much, do you?
Yeah. Wait, fuck you!
Well, I mean, I am the most qualified out of all of us. In the band, at least.
Yeah, which will just confuse people.
I mean, I'm not really feeding into, like, the stereotype of the dumb bassist, am I?
No, if anything, you're the opposite of the stereotype.
So that means we've got to get a really dumb drummer player.
Yeah. Wait.
Which may be really bad if I'm the standard, the drum player, like, down
drummer.
there.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I don't know what the vibe for the drummer will be, but, like, yeah. It'd be funny if the drummer was 2 years younger than you.
So, like, what, 18?
No, okay.
Like, 20, sorry.
You're 2 years younger than me, I'm 2 years younger than Baffy. And then, like, it would be a whole vibe.
A 20-year-old drum player.
Drummer.
Ugh. So that means he's born in 2000 and that's a compound sentence. I can't have that. It will hurt my brain. Now he's older than all of us. Like Mick Mars situation.
I pretty sure Baffy's the Mick Mars situation. Which is fine because Baffy's the lead guitarist.
Yeah.
Like, you can get away with having an old guy, like, you can get away with having, like, an old-ass motherfucker if they're the lead guitarist.
Yeah, as long as they don't pop their hip out on stage. Ouch.
Mick Mars was just retired, by the way, which is really weird because, okay, Motley Crue went through a whole thing where they signed this contract saying they were going to retire from touring. Then they released the dirt. Then they said, fuck that, we don't care about the contract. And then they went back up, then they went...
You know the best thing? Nikki Sixx released a video of him, like, clearing his driveway with a flamethrower, which isn't a flamethrower because it's the, like, Tesla one. On the same day that Jeremy Renner got run over by a snowplow, and I find that kind of wrong.
But then they went back on tour doing a stadium tour with Def Leppard and I think Poison, and now
Poison.
Mick Mars has retired.
He is like what 10 years older than all of them, though.
He's about that. Yeah, I think he's like 69 or something.
And they're all like 50 cent.
No, Nikki Sixx is 63, I think.
Huh.
Tommy Lee's the youngest. He's like 50 something.
Tommy Lee is a baby.
Tommy Lee's
like he was dating Pamela Anderson in the fucking 90s. Like he is child.
Tommy Lee's like 58 and Vince Neil's 60 something.
I thought Vince was younger than Tommy.
No, Vince and Nikki are like roughly the same age, but Tommy Lee's like late 50s. And then you just have... How
is Tommy Lee still alive? I don't know how that fucker's still alive. Because he is an idiot.
And then you just have Mick Mars, who's like late 60s, early 70s. Also, like, fucking...
Mick Mars should have died years ago, though.
Also, like, the fucking Rolling Stones drummer died recently, and I'm kind of upset by that.
Oh my god. I need to send you some videos of, like, Roger Taylor's, like, solo shit, because it is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Do not write and I'm in love with my car.
Roger Taylor's solo shit is literally like Bruce Springsteen.
Do not write and I'm in love with my car.
No!
That song is just weird.
What about my boat? What about my boat, bitch? I'm not a drummer.
Same fucking principle.
No, one's on water, one's on land.
Smoke on the
Jesus
water.
Oh.
Fire in the sky.
Roger Taylor is a vibe, though.
Sure.
Also, have you realised there's always one blonde?
Which in this case is you.
Oh, shit. Even though I want to go red.
Well, you're the... Okay.
I'm going to have to be the blonde.
Well, Buffy's hair is blonde at the
blonde.
tips, but it's not properly blonde.
There's always a blonde.
Yes.
There's always a tall, skinny blonde.
Well, in this case, a short, skinny blonde.
Shit. Now I've said that, I'm literally thinking of like every band, and like I think the exception being Kiss, because they're all like brunettes or black.
You say that, but the drummer that replaced Peter Criss was blonde.
Because I'm just thinking of like the album covers and things.
Well, yeah, but they wore makeup and it doesn't count.
Probably wigs.
Yeah.
They probably wore more wigs than Dolly fucking Parton.
Rah.
Like, if you're wearing more hair extensions than Dolly Parton, you need to check yourself.
Agreed.
Oh, I fucking love Dolly.
Yes, we love Dolly Parton. I love the fact that like she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she said like I don't deserve to be inducted into the Rock and Roll.
But then she wrote her own song. Like, have you seen her accepting it? She wrote her own rock song.
Like she doesn't. I don't deserve to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I'm not a rock artist. And then she wrote a rock album.
Yeah, Dolly Parton is a weird one. We're not going to have the argument about Dolly Parton being more punk than the Sex Pistols.
We've had that argument twice now.
We've had that argument twice, but yeah. Oh. Dolly
Though
Parton.
I will concede that Johnny Rotten is just kind of weird.
Johnny Rotten is a cunt.
Like, Johnny Rotten is just kind of
Even
weird.
though I kind of look like Johnny Rotten is a cunt.
Especially at the moment.
Especially with the fucking roots.
Mm.
That, I haven't used Vicks in my hair yet, though.
Fucking hell, cuz.
Johnny Rotten is like a new level of stupid.
Yeah. We're a happy family. We're a happy family. We're a happy family. Me, mum, and daddy. That's the Ramones, by the way.
I know, yeah. The Ramones are kind of like the road men of rock. The Ramones are really the road men of rock. And then Queen is
We don't hate you, New York. We don't hate you.
Queen is like up there with like the queer shit.
Yes.
But then you got like Twisted Sister and like Kiss, where you're like, do they go beyond or like are they as queer?
Oh no, Twisted Sister was so... Well, Twisted Sister are underrated as fuck, but they didn't help themselves.
No, like, if you have to go, rock bands are all the same, they all look like chicks, you definitely are talking about Twisted Sister.
Like, they didn't help themselves by, like, not doing anything in the 90s.
Yeah, that's the thing, they didn't do anything. Did they do anything in the 2000s?
They didn't do anything in the 90s.
Have they done anything recently, though?
No, they were tired.
Yeah. Because usually if they don't do it in the 90s, they do something in the 2000s. Like, I think Billy Idol didn't do anything in the 90s, and then he did something in, like, 2014, and he's done something recently. And, like, it's okay, but it's, like, Love and Glory vibes, not Flesh for Fantasy or Dancing with Myself. It's very poppy, rather than...
Yeah. And then you just have, like, the proto... Like, you have, like... fucking the Stooges and the New York Dolls, who released shit in the 70s, released nothing in the 80s, 90s, then couple of 2000s they released like 3 albums, then
Worst
they
90s release, Bon Jovi.
Agreed.
This Is My Life is like the worst shit I've ever heard.
No, It's My Life.
Oh, It's My Life, yeah.
That's not a terrible song, but the rest of the album's awful.
Like, that song's like, okay. Like, if you hear it, you're like, Bon Jovi. The rest of it, you're like, who is this?
It's my life. See, the thing is, I wouldn't spend money to go to a Bon Jovi concert.
Bon Jovi's weird. Like, I have a Bon Jovi t-shirt upstairs, and I loved it for years. However, when you think about Bon Jovi, there's like 3 songs you care about.
It's My Life, Living on a Prayer, Bad Name.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any more.
There really isn't.
AC/DC's... I think they haven't released anything. No, they're still...
Yeah, they have.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh.
They released something in they released a new album about 2 years ago. I mean, they went through this weird period where, like, well, no, they went through the period where Axl Rhodes was their lead singer because Brian Johnson was having like hearing problems, and then everything kind of like dissolved. But it's all good now.
Is that like the moment where you're like, let's try something slightly new because you're fucked? But oh god, I'm trying to think of like, there's a lot of like, the thing is, it's the generation of the 90s / early 2000s artists coming back. So we've got Pink and like Lily Allen
and fucking Avril,
and I think Nickelback are.
Oh, I can't. I'm not.
Because Avril and Nickelback are now tied.
Well, like, she was married to the lead singer, wasn't she?
I think they're still married.
No, they're not.
Are they?
No, they're not. Shit. Like she's on her third She's on her third husband.
I don't know. All I know is Skater Boy.
Like she's on her third husband.
Pink is releasing so much. Like, she released. So when the last Alice in Wonderland came out.
Also, Sum 41. Fuck yeah, Sum 41. Blink.
Pink's released like 4 in the last 3 years.
Sum 41, Blink 182, MCR. All them vibes.
I'm waiting for Simple Plan or like Busted again. Because Busted was so weird. Air Guitar was a banger. Air Guitar's a banger. But the thing is, when it comes to Busted and McFly, they do actually merge, so you forget who sung what.
Yeah. No, but with Busted, okay, like...
Because it was what? The drummer from Busted? Or was it the McFly drummer?
I don't know. I never really paid much attention to Busted and McFly. Like, I know that they both came about organically and they wrote their own shit, but they were kind of boy bandy.
Oh no, they were. They were like just before... Can we admit that One Direction wasn't a boy band, they were a boy group? Because none of them played any instruments.
Well, the term boy band, it doesn't mean...
a band is instruments, I'm sorry, that is what a band is.
The term boy band doesn't mean instruments, it means...
They can fuck off. A band plays instruments like a band.
Yeah, well,
because you can count the Shadows technically as a boy band.
Well, you can count the Beatles as the first boy band.
Yeah, but they played. They played. Whereas One Direction were just a bunch of boys with voices breaking every 5 seconds singing. On a beach randomly in white shirts.
I remember being in school and like girls freaking out over One Direction.
It was like Beatle fever, but Beatles were shit. Like, honestly, every song was the same.
No, I remember being in school and everyone and like girls
unironically liking You Don't Know You're Beautiful, but also like not pretending you liked it.
No, but I remember being in school and girls freaking out over One Direction. I'm just like, what the fuck's the deal? What the fuck's up with this? I want to listen to Pierce the Veil.
Those One Direction like pencil cases with the buttons where you press it and like open shit.
Yeah, but I'm just like, what's the fuck up with this? I want to listen to Pierce the Veil.
I was there just like, I just want Billy Idol and Pink. That's all I want.
I just want to listen to Pierce the Veil.
Oh, like Miley Cyrus and Billy Idol did like a song together called Nightcrawler, and I listened to it like a year ago, and I was like, oh, this is perfect because it's like just enough country like twang with enough like heavy metal. It's like
vibes.
It is pure vibage. Also,
like on the subject of early 2000s music, Shake It was a vibe. Shake, 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 a shake it.
Early 2000s are like either really hit or really
was just
miss.
not. Yeah, it was just either there or it wasn't.
It's like anything by Pink was good.
Na 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 na. Hey.
Pink was a sensation. I love because now she's a mum, so her stuff's gone a bit more poppy now. However, it's poppy, but it's still very Pink. But she was talking about I think it was no, it wasn't Trouble. I think it was So What. But there's the motorbike scene. She was high off her tits for that.
Question. What the fuck happened to Jessie J?
Shit, where is Jessie J?
Yeah, what the fuck happened to Jessie J?
What the fuck happened to Jessie J?
Because she was a vibe in the early 2000s.
Because Katy Perry's still doing Just Eat adverts and all that other shit.
Yeah, but she has a kid now, so she's kind of slowed down.
Doesn't she with Russell Brand or am I wrong?
No, she was married to Russell Brand. Then they got divorced.
People need to stop getting married.
No, she was married to Russell Brand. Then she got divorced, and now she's engaged to the guy who played Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, she's engaged to him, and they have a kid together.
But he's 40 now?
Yeah, he's late 30s. Yeah, she's engaged to Will Turner. She's doing
who did the baby come from?
Him.
Oh, okay.
They had the kid together the old-fashioned way.
Now, see, Katy Perry and Jessie J, they both mingle in my head. They both merge.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I don't think Katy Perry would have got away with doing it like a dude. I'm sorry.
Oh my! What? Little Mix broke her up.
Yeah.
I like Little Mix after no one liked them, so I was the opposite of a hipster when it came.
Well,
to
I got
Little
into
Mix.
Michael Jackson after Michael Jackson died.
And was announced a nonce, formally, pretty bigly. He's a big nonce.
He was found innocent.
Yeah, but there was the first case. There's many more now.
No.
He is guilty as fuck.
No.
We can have that argument all day, but oh my god.
No.
Michael Jackson was a nonce. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a nonce. It was the media trying to destroy the man.
You also think that about Marilyn Manson. That at some point it's got to give.
Okay, with someone like Gary Glitter, yes, it's fucking obvious.
Elvis. He was a nonce. He was a nonce. Priscilla was 14 and he was dating her before then, so...
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because I think they got married on her 14th birthday.
The bass player for the Rolling Stones was a nonce.
Can we just admit that Mick Jagger was a nonce?
Explain.
He dated 12-year-olds and shit.
I don't...
I remember someone comparing him to Elvis, that's all I remember.
Yeah, but do they mean it in that way, or do they mean it...
They mean he's actually slept with teenagers. Which is weird. I don't know ages, but Mick Jagger is a bit creepy to me, so...
Yeah, he's a toff.
The Rolling Stones are weird. They don't give, true rock and roll vibes, but...
Yeah, but the Rolling Stones are an institution.
Yeah. Like the Sex Pistols. If you think about it. That's why they can't really be considered punk.
The Rolling Stones are a rock and roll band.
They are rock and roll, however...
They are a proper rock and roll band to their core, and they put their best stuff out in the 70s, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Ironically, most of them are near their 70s.
No, that most of them are near their 80s.
Most of them are in their 70s.
The youngest one is Ronnie Wood, who's 75. And Mick and Keith are nearly 80. Mick and Keith are probably going to be 80 this year, I think.
Swear, Mick Jagger looks more and more like beef jerky every day.
Well, I mean, Mick, I'm not entirely sure about the noncy allegations when it comes to Jagger, but he has shagged his way through quite a lot of...
There was that Mars bar incident, wasn't there?
He has shagged his way through. Like, his current girlfriend is 35. And before that, he was married to some other chick.
I half read that.
I don't know, like, it's just a lot. Like, it's just a lot.
Rock and roll.
So, yeah. Yeah, rock and roll. Rock and roll!
I guess that's over then.
Yeah. Bye, bitches. I guess we're done. Like, see you soon, I guess. And, yeah, vibes.